First, a few words on the lead partner principle. So we organize these events actually for the lead partners, since you as a lead partner are the key person, you're the core of the project. You are, as a lead partner, you're responsible for the implementation of the overall project. You're the main counterpart towards the program bodies. And you are the person or the institution also holding the whole project towards the project partners together and then to steer and implement it. And this is actually governed, so this relationship between the program bodies and the lead partner is governed by the subsidy contract. This means the contractual relationship. And then there is also the partnership agreement, which is actually then the contract or also formal agreement between the lead partner and the group of project partners. And within these types of contracts or agreements, there are, of course, ruled out all the different, whatever responsibilities, legal issues, etc. In this chart, I want to briefly show you what is actually the process of project development. It's a very long, it's a complex process, it's not easy, but I think it's also a very interesting and rewarding one. And this is somehow shown in this pyramid, where at the bottom, there has to be some contents. And the contents, this is actually the idea. So the idea, what the project should change, what the result of the project should be. And I think this is where you should actually spend a lot of thoughts, where you can be creative, what you want to do, and where you should already, also I think from the very beginning on, you should already be very concrete. What should be really the outcome? What should be the result? But I will come to this result orientation later on, I will come back to it, and we will also speak about it tomorrow, since this is really the crucial part of project development. And also now for the new funding period, the result orientation is one of the crucial elements. The next step, if you have already thought and somehow developed a draft or a first project idea, then of course it's also relevant not just to keep it with yourself, but to also seek, exchange, and discuss your project idea already with other institutions, partners, colleagues. Then, in the course of the discussion, you should then also think about which other partners you would need, which other institutions in your own regions, as we heard before, which was asked by the question, other regions, other competencies, other capacities, other resources which are available in other institutions. So this means you should think about which other institutions should be cooperating in the frame of the project. Of course, a good project needs also an efficient management structure. This we have seen, I think, in the past in many projects, that good projects are also always projects which have a good and sound and well-structured management. So this is also something which needs to be kept in mind. And then we are somehow approaching the top of the pyramid, and these are actually then the steps which will be discussed or explained tomorrow in detail, also during the morning session, and then also in the afternoon sessions within the practical workshops which will be held by my colleagues. So there it's then necessary to define in detail how the intervention logic of a project has to look like. And the intervention logic means this logical chain between the input, so this means the resources which you spend, which lead to the outputs of a project, which are then have to be in line with the project objectives and the expected results. And based on this intervention logic, there is the need to define then, of course, in detail all the necessary activities and deliverables and outputs, which are the key elements of the work plan. Oops. And, of course, last but not least, everything is, of course, also based on money. And this, of course, is also a very important element that, based on the activities, you have to develop then also the budget. And not to develop the budget by yourself as a lead partner, but really to involve also the other project partners, that each of the project partners plans his own budget, the resources which are needed in order to implement the activities which are planned in the work plan. But this you will hear more in detail tomorrow by my colleague Helga, and also in the financial workshops which will take place tomorrow afternoon. And last but not least, you have to communicate, of course, also then the project results, and not only communicate, but also then as a further step to transfer also the outputs to other regions which are not only directly involved in the project, but also to go a step further in to deliver these also results and outputs to regions also outside of the project partnership.